If you haven't read this book, you are at a great loss. But hey everybody, this is Vaibhav. Welcome to my channel Academia, and you are here for the literary explanation of Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Let's get straight into it! Like I always do, I will begin with few very less facts about the poet, in this case, Alfred Lord Tennyson or Lord Alfred Tennyson. Now, Lord was the title that was given to him, the Poet Laureate of Queen Victoria's court. So Alfred Lord Tennyson was the Poet Laureate of Queen Victoria's court, and he wrote a play at the age of 14. At the same age, probably, when I was arguing to my mother the lunch that I would take to school. And in fact, he was such a dear friend that he even wrote an entire poem for his friend in memoriam AHH when he passed away. My friends will probably not even throw flowers at my grave. Anyways, he died in 1892, and this particular poem, Crossing the Bar, was written in 1889, 3 years before the death of the poet, right? There are theories that it was written on the back of an envelope while he was embarking on a sea voyage. So you will see some similarities of that particular situation in this particular poem, right? Now let's begin with the poem, and before I begin with the explanation of the poem, let me tell you that this particular poem is an allegory, right? Now, an allegorical poem is a poem in which there is a series of events that runs superficially, but there is another entire series of events that runs underneath, which is related to the series of events that is running superficially. But for us, the most important and more significant, rather, series of events is the one that lies below, right? The deeper meaning, the between the lines, the depth that we call. So with that note, let us begin with this particular poem, Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Now, before I in fact begin with the analysis and explanation, let me just give you a synopsis of what this entire poem is about. Now, this entire poem will talk about how a particular person, an unknown person, in this case the speaker of the poet, she or he or they leaves for a voyage on sea, and the farewell that will be conducted by the people who are there on the bank or on the shore, that farewell for the speaker should not be rather very chaotic and sad and unhappy. It should be very peaceful, calm, and cheerful. Now, this particular thing will be implied in the fact that the speaker of the poet is about to die, that is embarking on the sea voyage, and the speaker wants that the funeral, the sadness of death should be there, but there shouldn't be much hullabaloo about it, right? It should be a very calm, composed, and as far as possible, cheerful state of affairs. So that is what we're going to study in this particular poem, that how, sacredly and how peacefully the speaker embraces death as a part of the cycle of life and death. Let's begin. Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me, and may there be no mourning of the bar when I put out to sea. Now, when we look at the symbols of sunset and evening star, by the way, over here is the planet Venus, right? So when the sun sets down, the Venus planet is visible in the sky, which over here is referred to as the evening star, right? So sunset and evening star, the imagery of sunset, the sun is setting down, it is the evening star. What kind of connotation does it bring to our mind? The kind of connotation that comes to our mind is about the latter part of something, right? Something that is about to come to an end, right? Now I'll come to that something in a while, but over here literally that means the day. So the day is about to come to an end, right? And one clear call for me. There's one clear call from the ship that pong, you got to leave, right? There's a call for the speaker to kind of board the ship, and then they got to leave. And may there be no mourning of the bar when I put out to sea, and may there be no unhappy surrounding, may there be no unhappy vibe in the people who are there, who are bidding farewell to the person who is embarking on that journey, right? May there be no mourning of the bar when I put out to sea. But such a tide as moving seems asleep, too full for sound and foam, when that which drew from the boundless deep turns again home. but such a tide as moving seems asleep. Now this tide over here refers to the waves of sea that are coming, right? It is not the high tide and the low tide, but this refers to the waves of the sea that are coming towards the shore. And the poet's speaker says, such a tide as moving seems asleep. Now, isn't this like quite oxymoronic? The tide is moving also, and it is sleeping also. How dumb. But no, it is not. The thing is that the speaker wants the tide to be so composed and, rather slow and peaceful that it seems as though it is asleep. It seems as though it is just not even moving. In fact, it is moving at a very slow pace, right? That kind of a tide the speaker wants. And that tide should be too full for sound and foam. That tide should be so full, there should be so much of water in it, and that water should be so calm and composed and turbulent free that there is no room for any kind of a sound or any kind of a foam. What kind of a sound? Whenever the waves, they come to the shore, they make a swish sound, right? So that kind of a sound, there should be no sound. They should be completely soundless and turbulent free. And there should be no foam. Now what kind of a foam? If you have observed, whenever the waves, they come to the shore, there is a foamy texture in that. That is because of the salt, right? That salty content. So we do not want any sort of a foam or sound to come. Now when will that kind of a foam happen? That kind of a foam will come only when there are waves which are turbulent. Right? Whenever you see that kind of a foam coming to the shore, you will always observe that is happening because the waves are coming with velocity and speed. There is turbulence in the waves. But the speaker does not want this. The speaker of Alfred Lord Tennyson wants that this water, this tide, these waves should be rather very smooth, right? They should not have any kind of a turbulence in them. Very composedly they are coming, they are taking the ship, and then they're going back. That's all that the speaker wants. When that which drew from the boundless deep turns again home. Now there's an entire ocean there, right? And there's this boundless deep, an unknown depth in the ocean, an unknown place of an unknown depth. And from there that water is coming. That water is coming from that far of a place. That water is coming from that unknown place, and it is coming to the shore, and it turns again home. Now whenever the waves, they come back, they go as well, right? So there is a flash, and then there's a flash back. There's again a splash, there's again a flash back, right? A plunge and a flashback. So the tide which is coming, the water wave that is coming from the boundless depth, an unknown place of an unknown depth, when it comes to the shore, it turns back home. And it goes with the ship in it. And it goes with the speaker in it as well. The tide comes, it takes the ship, and the ship has the speaker in it, right? So this is the kind of situation, this is the kind of environment that the particular speaker wants. It should be very turbulent free. There should be no hullabaloo, there should be no chaos. Very peaceful, very calm. It comes, it takes me, it goes away. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark. And may there be no sadness or farewell when I embark. There will be twilight. The sun has already set. There is no sun in the sky. It's twilight. The day is about to come to an end. An evening bell. This evening bell is the bell of a church. I'll come to it, what it is actually, in a while, when we do the allegorical meaning. Stay with it. And after that, the dark. And once the twilight is over, once the evening bell is rung, after that, it's dark. It's all dark. It's night. And may there be no sadness or farewell when I embark. The speaker of the poet wants that there should be no sadness in the people who are there, standing on the shore, bidding a farewell to the particular speaker. She or he or they wants that whoever is standing at the shore must bid a cheerful goodbye to the speaker, because they should know that the speaker has to leave. There is no impermanence in his or her or their stay. Right? There is no impermanence in the speaker's stay. It will come to an end. The stay will come to an end, and then the speaker will have to leave. Can you hint at something which I'm trying to allude to you? End, impermanence. I'll come to it. For though from out our bourne of time and place the flood may bear me far, but I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. Now understand this particular line. The how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Understand the 12th and the 13th line like the 13th and the 12th line. As in, take it as this. The flood may bear me far, for though from out or born of time and place. The flood, which is the water, the tide, it can bear me far. It can take me away from out of the boundaries of time and place. That flood has that particular capacity. It is potent enough to take me from the boundaries of time and place. It can take me away with a swish from the boundaries of time and place. What are these boundaries of time and place? The confinements of time, the time of stay, the duration of stay. There is a particular boundary set that, okay, you'll stay here for such and such period of time. Now that time period has come to an end. There is a particular limit that you will stay in these places, but that limitation again has been broken, and the flood is about to take the speaker away. And I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. And I hope to see the pilot of my ship, the same pilot who will guide my entire journey henceforth. I wish to see that pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. When I have finally crossed this shore, when I have finally left this shore, I wish that I see my pilot face to face in front of me, physically, when I have finally departed, when I have finally left. Isn't it beautiful? Now let us come to the more important and deeper meaning, right? When we look at the title, let's talk about the title first. Crossing the bar. This bar over here is a sandbar which is developed on the coast, right? This is a sandbar which is developed on the coast. But symbolically, this is a boundary between life and death, right? The entire shore, the entire land, that was all life. The life of a human being. And after that is death. And there is a boundary in between, which is the sandbar. So the poet's speaker, or the poet, has to cross this bar and set out into the sea. Now when we have crossed the life, we have crossed the boundary of life and death, what remains after? Can you think of something? Afterlife. Once the time span on earth, in life, on land is over, we have crossed the boundaries of life and death, then comes afterlife. An unknown place, an unknown entity. We don't know what afterlife is. Nobody has died and come back. So it is unknown. Which is why no sea or ocean or water body is named in this particular poem. It is not Indian Ocean or Baltic Sea or Atlantic Sea or Pacific Ocean. No. It is an unknown sea. It's just a sea because it is unknown. Afterlife is unknown. And again, the speaker is unknown. The speaker of the poet is unknown, which hints at the fact that this has to happen to everybody. If a person has been born, the person will die. Right? Oh. Okay. So sunset and evening star. Like I told you in the beginning of the story, this is sunset and evening star. It is indicating towards the end of the day. It is also indicating symbolically, allegorically, towards the end of the lifespan of the particular speaker. Sunset and evening star. It is a symbol for impending death, right? It is a symbol for maturity in age, maturing age, 80s or 90s, right? Or maybe 100 if you're lucky enough. In any case, sunset and evening star, old age. The Venus star is only visible after the sun has gone down in the west. So it is impending death. Death is nearing, right? And then again, this idea is further cemented when the poet says, one clear call for me. There's a call that has come, an announcement has been made that you are about to die, right? Your lifetime is come to an end. Your life on earth, your time on earth has come to an end. It has elapsed. You need to go now. That is a one clear call. This is an indication of death. You know, whenever somebody is about to die, God forbid, this might happen to anybody, but they get ill, or there are some indications the person might not survive anymore. And by the way, this particular piece of poem, Crossing the Bar, was written by Alfred Lord Tennyson when he was recovering from gout. Gouts are a disease, and he was recuperating from this disease, gouts. That was when he wrote the poem. So perhaps for the speaker, or rather for Alfred Lord Tennyson, at that point of time, gouts, the disease, was an indication of death. It was an announcement that death is nearing. You need to be prepared. So there is a call for me. There is one clear call for me. This is the metaphor, by the way. This is the metaphor. One clear call for me. And of course, this is an alliteration over here. Clear call for me. The k sound. Clear call for me. A beautiful use of alliteration. And the metaphor is that it is the announcement of death. The metaphor for sunset is impending death. Evening star, again, maturity of age, maturing age, old age, and impending death. And may there be no mourning of the bar when I put out to sea. No mourning of the people over here who are standing, bidding me farewell. My loved ones, my friends, my relatives, my family. May there be no mourning of these people when I finally put out to sea. When I finally embark on the afterlife. When I finally sit on that ship and go into the afterlife. The speaker does not want the people to be sad. Because the speaker, she or he or they, is assuring those people that it has to happen. You need to understand that. If my life did occur, it has to come to an end. Right? Yeah. But such a tide as moving seems asleep. Again, alliteration, but such a tide as moving seems asleep. The sound. Can you imagine, can you sense that Pacific sound in it? The sound, that is alliteration. Such a tide as moving seems asleep. Now this tide over here, it is a metaphor for the experience of death. The tide is coming and it is going back. And what kind of an experience does the speaker want? The speaker wants that this experience should be as though it is moving but still is asleep. The speaker does not want it to be very, very chaotic, that people are crying and they are pulling their hair and they are distraught and depressive. The speaker does not want this. The speaker wants it to be very, very calm, composed, and normal. The speaker is sending across a message that this is death. This is not, and by the way, you all, whatever I'm discussing right now, it is not useless. It is no philosophy or gyan that I'm giving. You will have to inculcate all this in your answers. So keep on listening to it properly. Back to the poem, the speaker is saying that all this has to happen. He is basically normalizing death, or she or he is basically normalizing death, the speaker. Normalizing the fact that if life has begun, if the cycle has started, it has to come to an end. No one is eternal. So why can't we just accept death as a part of the cycle? If we can accept morning and night, summer and winter, summer and winter, summer and winter, morning and night, why can't we accept life and death? That is what the message is over here. Too full for sound and foam, when that, this particular that over here, when that, this that is used for the tide. So when that which drew from the boundless deed turns again home. Now this is basically a very strong message that is being sent for homecoming. Basically, the speaker is saying that there is a boundless depth. There is an unknown place, in an unknown sea, of an unknown depth, right? And I came from there. I came from eternity. The speaker says that I have come from eternity. I don't know where we've come from. We don't know where we've come from. Who created us? We don't know that. From where have we come? Who created us? How did we come on this earth? Who were we in our previous lives? We don't know that. Which is why the speaker says that I have come from an unknown depth, from a boundless depth. There is no measure of that. You can't measure that depth. It is boundless, right? So I've come from the boundless depth and it turns again home. When the tide comes and goes back home, it will take me. So I have come from there. That is my original place. That unknown place, that ambiguous place is my original place. That is my original home, my actual home. And I came over here to live my tenure of life on earth, on land, and now I have to go back. I have to go back to my home. I have to go back to my death place. I have to die. I will have to go. That is what the speaker is trying to normalize over here. And he is requesting his family members, his friends, his colleagues, his beloved people not to be sad, to be cheerful, to be happy for the fact that she or he led a very, very successful life on earth. I'll come to this part, successful life on earth. There is an interesting story about this. I'll come to it later. Let's proceed. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark. Twilight. Till now it was sunset, right? The sun was still there, but it was setting down. Now it's twilight. The sun was there, it was setting down, but it has gone down below the horizon. And now it's just twilight. It's twilight. And then evening bell. This evening bell over here is a metaphor for death knell, right? Knell, knell, death knell. This is a metaphor for death knell. Now, what a death knell is basically a bell which is rung 3 times whenever a person dies, right? So yeah, that is basically a death knell. And this evening bell has been rung. That means the death has taken place. And how do we know that? We know that because the speaker says, and after that the dark. It was the sunset, my old age. Then it was twilight, old age has set, and now it's dark. It's completely dark. Death has taken place. Dark. Death. And the evening bell, which is the death knell, by the way. And may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. May there be no sadness in the people whom I love, with the people whom I live, with the people whom I cherished every moment. May there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. Now look at the beauty of this line. The speaker does not say that when I finish my life or when I die. The speaker says when I embark. Because the speaker firmly believes that whatever is going to happen in the afterlife, that is another journey. Over here, if you look from this side, this is the end of a life. But if you look from this side, the speaker is coming. It is the beginning of the afterlife. The speaker is excited to begin the afterlife. The speaker is not a psycho. No, he's not sadistic. He is very, very positive. And he's very open-minded, very sorted, very, very composed, right? And he says that this is basically a journey that I'm beginning. This is a voyage on a ship which I'm beginning, I'm embarking on. And so may there be no sadness of farewell, because this is not the end. Don't look at it like an end. Look at it as a beginning. So therefore, don't be sad. Be happy that I'm about to begin my afterlife. That is the message he's sending across, or she or he is sending across to the people. And the speaker says, for though from out are born of time and place. Born, B-O-U-R-N-E, born means boundary. It's an old English word for boundary. So there are boundaries of time and place in our life, right? We are confined in a particular place to live. We are confined in this earth to live. We don't live on Mars. We don't live on Neptune. We don't live on Jupiter. We are confined in this place called earth to live. We are confined for a particular lifespan to live. 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, 70 years. And if some people are not even lucky enough to live for 5 years, 6 years, pathetic. So yeah, we have a confinement as far as the time is concerned, as far as the place is concerned. There is a boundary that is set. And this flood, this experience of death which is coming, it will take me out from this boundary, because I will go. I will leave those confinements of time and place, and I will go. This flood, this experience of death, which is coming from the unknown, from eternity, it will take me away out of those confinements of time and place. And I will be free. I will be in eternity. I will be in an unknown. I will be somewhere where I know nothing. I have no experience of. And that is a new beginning. I will begin my afterlife. The poet speaker is excited. And he is asking those people not to be sad, to be excited. To be not excited, but to be cheerful actually. I hope to see my pilot face to face. And the fact that P of pilot is capitalized over here refers and suggests that this is nothing but a reference to God, right? This is basically God, and this particular pilot, this God, has guided the entire life of the speaker on earth, and now will guide the afterlife as well. And then the speaker wishes to see that pilot face to face. How beautiful! God! Composed! Very, very beautifully composed. So, the flood of the speaker will take her or him or them out of the boundaries of time and place, and then she or he or they will be free. They will be in eternity. and the speaker is rather very happy to lead a successful life. Now, like I said, I would come to this successful life thing. This is the last little thing of the video, by the way, and this is that Alfred Lord Tennyson had led a really very self-actualized and a very good life as a very good person. He always sent across relaxation to people through his write-ups, through whatever he wrote, his poems, his prose, all that he wrote. He always sent across good messages and relaxing messages to the people. People felt relaxed and calm after reading his write-up. And so he considers himself to be rather very successful in leading a life in that place on earth. Because he has worked for the society, he has contributed for the society, and he's quite happy. So yeah, this was Alfred Lord Tennyson, the great Alfred Lord Tennyson. We consider him to be the greatest Victorian poet, and he was. Sheesh! Great! Well, that brings us to the end of this literary explanation for Crossing the Bar by Lord Alfred Tennyson. For the thematic explanation, the critical appreciation, the discussions of title, how to write good answers, I will be coming up with another video. Stay tuned, and if you did like this video, there is this like thing over there, this or this something. I mean, you should, you can, you would, you rather do. Please like it. And make sure you subscribe to my channel if you did like my video. Consider sharing it with your people. Okay, thank you, bye.